Hello everybody, Steve here, back again with another tabletop baseball video. As many of you know, if you follow my channel, I'm doing a 1972 Pirates replay. So this is an update, and the focus here will be on Strat-O-Matic. You can see the Strat-O-Matic picture on the left, and you can see the Pittsburgh Pirates 1972 scorebook on the right, which is a scorebook that I would have gotten when I went to a game in 1972 at Three River Stadium. I don't remember if I went to one or two games, and I'm not sure I've nailed down which game or games it was that I attended. I do know at one of the games I did get a replica World Series ring, and if I can find a picture of it, I will show you. I've had it all these years. Anyway, so here we go. This you would have seen before. This is my list of sims I'm going to try to include in this replay. This hasn't changed, so we'll just see how things progress. So thought I would show you my game setup for this last series. I made a handful of years ago, I made a dice tower out of styrofoam, and it has a bunch of images of Forbes Field stuck on it. And more recently, I took this piece of cardboard and a piece of foam and put it underneath as a dice tray because the dice were kind of rolling out of control. The only problem is that with that foam, it sometimes the dice still bounce out of the tray. So I probably shouldn't really have the foam there. But between the styrofoam and the foam underneath, it does mute a lot of the sound. You can see there that I have a very old pitcher hitting card. I have 1 through 4. They're two cards, double-sided. Those cards look like they are about as old as I am, and they very well could be. I know there are more modern cards. There's at least 8 now, and there may be a left and right side to the 8 with the advanced game. You guys can tell me. In the meantime, I'm just using these old cards that I have for my pitcher hitting. So yeah. On the right, I also have a different backup dice tray, which, to be honest, I probably should be using. And it's a cigar box, a wooden cigar box, and I put some felt on the bottom, and I have, printed out a picture. This is from the 1960 World Series, and cut it to size. Excuse me, and it just sits in there in the top of the box, and so either system works fairly well. And then, of course, I have the pitcher and the batter cards for both teams laid out there. And then I guess it was during the second game I figured out that I could put the defense chart in the drawer of my desk, which is just below the picture here. And anytime I needed to do a defense check, I just opened the drawer and looked at the chart. So that's my setup. But I also had some help in the first game. So our infamous cat was in the room and decided to sit on the charts on the left, and then he got bored with that, and then he discovered the dice, and he was really fascinated with my D20 die. I did not let him have that, but I had another D20 die that, quite frankly, is pretty ugly and hard to read, and so I gave him that, and that entertained him for a while until he knocked it under some piece of furniture somewhere. So I've seen many pictures of cats helping people play Strat and tabletop baseball, and so I'm not alone on that. I talked last time about the fact that even though the Pirates, uh, I'm doing a single team replay, I haven't gotten too bored with the Pirates lineup because they do use some platooning. And you may want to pause this video and take a look at this chart, but I'm going to cough here for a second. Excuse me. Excuse me. Um, I think if somebody plays pretty much every day, like a Dave Cash or yeah, Bean Alley, uh, Jackie Hernandez, right-hand batters, they're split in terms of who they face. Left-hand pitcher, right-hand pitcher is going to be about 30-70. And then for left-hand batters who play a lot, like Hebner and Oliver, and even Stargell, they're about 30-70 as well. But there are some pretty explicit platoons that go on, and Pagan comes in when they're left-hand pitchers, and so you can see the 54% versus left-hand pitchers for him. If Sanguian is not catching, Milt May will play against right-hand pitchers, and you see the extreme splits there as well. Same thing with Vic Davalillo in the outfield. I mean, he was really a pinch hitter in 71, but he plays, at least in my replay so far, has played a little bit more often in 72. And when he does, he's obviously, as a left-hander, he's in the lineup against right-hand pitchers. So yeah, that's the platooning. In this particular series I just finished, there were a lot of interesting lineups. So they weren't even standard platoon lineups. I mean, they were platoon oriented, but the players got moved around a bit. At the bottom, I think those are averages I calculated from league-wide data, and if no platooning at all occurred, those are the statistics, but don't quote me. You've seen this slide before. The Dodgers data is new on the bottom. The Dodgers finished second in the Western Division, 10.5 games out. They had good pitching, and so they were second in terms of lowest runs allowed, but a little bit more average in terms of runs scored. They were seventh, and so the record was 85-70, which exactly matches their Pythagorean record. So again, you can pause the video, but these are some of the top players, batters, and pitchers for the Dodgers. One thing you can see is they didn't hit a lot of home runs. I forget what their total team total was, but the two leaders were Davis and Robinson, each at 19 each. You can see the pitchers, the top four starters by innings pitched all had ERAs under 3, which is very good. Don Sutton was 19-9, Claude Osteen was 20-11, and Tommy John was 11-5. And Jim Brewer was their closer and got 17 saves, 1.26 ERA. I've got Whip on the right, and both Sutton and Brewer were under 1, which is really good. By my reckoning, anything 1.3 or lower is actually pretty decent. And I'm not sure, but maybe that .913 per Sutton was the league leading amount. Very well could be for people with enough innings pitched to qualify. I found this team picture. It's kind of interesting. I was going to scan some of my baseball cards again, but I didn't. So this is the team photo. Very fine print at the bottom. It has all the names. And then Maury Wills must have missed that day because they had to kind of paste his picture up in the upper right. Okay, here's the replay. Um, I used Strat this time, as I mentioned, games 47, 48, and 49 of the Pirates season. So we're about a third of the way through the season. It was a shortened season in 72. Uh, so the Pirates record is pretty close to their actual record through 49 games. But as we've said before, the run scoring in the Sims is lower than what it was in the actual games. And I was blaming it first on payoff pitch, so I've just added a new row that says here's the cumulative excluding payoff pitch. But even subsequently, the Pirates really haven't scored as much as they did in real life. I have no. This is a small sample size. I really have no reason to know why they would be scoring lower. I don't think I'm doing anything from a managerial standpoint to affect that. I am using as played starting lineups, and I am looking at the actual substitutions to at least guide me generally about who's available to substitute. But it is what it is. Clemente played all three games of this series, so he got two more hits. He went 1 for 4, 1 for 4, and 0 for 4. So he's got 2,922 hits. Next up is the world's greatest baseball game. I'm going to play against the Giants, and I'm going to be using a homebrew team that I made for the Pirates and for the Giants. But before I can do the Giants, I need to finish that team off. I'm about 95% done, so I need to finish that off. Yeah. So I mentioned last time I'm using this Green Fox Excel based scoring system, and I didn't do this up until now, but when you finish the game and you compute the stats, one of the choices you have is to have it compile a box score. So I did that and did a screen capture. And so this is game 2 of the series, and you can see with Claude Osteen being a left-hander, the Pirates put together a more right-handed oriented lineup, and as I mentioned, like Pagan, Blade, uh, and so on. Bill Mazeroski got his first start. He hadn't really played much in the season up till now. And they even put Rennie Stenen in the outfield. They didn't have Al Oliver playing. Stennett probably played the most positions of any of the Pirates in 1971. The Dodgers won 4-2. Um, Luke Walker pitched okay, gave up 7 hits and 3 walks, struck out 6, but well, just happened to allow some runs. So Maury Wills is the leadoff hitter for the Dodgers, both in Game 2 and in Game 3. He got 2 hits here, and we'll see what he did in the next game. But he had a 129 batting average, and his Strat card has almost no hits on it, the way the 50-50 math works. But he did get a couple hits here, and if I recall, they came off the pitcher card. And then Claude Osteen had a complete game. So, yeah. Game 3, which I just finished tonight, the Pirates came back and won 5-0. Bruce Keeson, right-hander, second season, pitched 9 innings, gave up 3 hits, did walk 4 and hit a batter. But he pretty much cruised along. Here we have Maury Wills getting 2 hits again, 2 of the 3 hits. So pretty interesting. But the Pirates piled up 12 hits. Manny Sanguin had 3. No home runs in the game. I think in the prior game, we had a home run by Willie Stargell. Al Downing, another left-hander, started. So again, this is a right-handed oriented lineup. Willie Stargell wasn't playing. Oliver did get back in. Bob Robertson playing first base. Mazeroski played again, was moved further down in the lineup. So that's game 3 of the series. This is my standard slide. If you like the video, click like, just lets me know you're watching. Comments are very welcome for sure, and subscribe if you want. There's a couple links here that I'll put in the description. Nothing too magic, but some supplemental information if that's of interest to you. Everybody, I think, watching this video knows what Strat cards look like. I did play the advanced version, so this is an example of some of the cards. It is 50-50 system. The cards are fairly big. They're 5 inches wide. And the explicit left-right splits, as you can see. So what are my impressions? So I am playing the advanced version. As I was playing Strat, I wasn't so sure I was liking it at first. I know probably a lot more about Strat than many other sims just from studying it over the years. I also used it to help me design my own sim back in the late 70s. But as I played it, I liked it just fine. And I'll talk about why in a second. I hadn't played it much before, but anyways, I have a new appreciation for the defense system in Strat, which I thought was fine. There were a fair amount of defense checks. I don't know if it was too many, too few, but at least I have a good feel for how the defense system works. And of course, the main thing in advance is that the range rating and the error rate rating are separate. It's fairly easy learning curve. The only thing I really stumbled on was runner advancement, particularly on hits and so on, and just understanding, single asterisk, double asterisk, no asterisk, et cetera. In terms of the left-right splits, I do generally like explicit left-right splits, albeit knowing some of the weaknesses of explicit splits. I was just concerned a little bit that I might accidentally read the wrong side of the card or so on, but I paid pretty close attention, and it wasn't that big of a deal, so I managed that fine. From an intellectual standpoint, I think Strat does suffer being a 50-50 system. That said, as I was playing, it didn't really cause me a lot of particular concern. And so I do have it in red, but so be it. I think what I like about Strat compared to maybe some other sims that will remain nameless is that the results are on the card pretty much. So I think that's kind of the main thing why I liked it. Split die adventures. So anybody that plays Strat knows all about the D20 die. And I don't know if this happens as much in other games, but I've known from other people talking about, that split die creates a little drama. And what I had in a few games is where the split die was right on the borderline between, a really good result and a less good result, or a really good result and a bad result. And there's at least 2 instances where a home run was missed by just by 1 notch on the D20 split die. So More than that, game two in this series went 10 innings, I think, 10 or 11 innings. And the Dodgers were up, and Steve Garvey was up, and I rolled the dice, and the D20 kind of was leaning up against the side of the dice tray, probably because of the foam rubber I have on the bottom of the tray, as you saw earlier. And it was right between being a 10 or a 12, but it looked like it was more like a 10. And I may have looked at the card first. I don't know, but I decided that it was a 10 and Garvey had a home run, which was a walk-off win in the bottom of the 10th or 11th inning. And, it is what it is. I probably should take that foam rubber out of the bottom of the dice tray. The other thing that comes up is, you have errant dice rolls, like, you may drop a die or a die might pop out of the tray. What do you do? And I tend to not re-roll all the dice. I re-roll the errant one and get the new result. Sometimes the new roll will knock over one of the other die that's in the tray, and I just live with the fact that the roll is now different. But it probably makes sense if there's an errant dice roll just to re-roll everything. But it is what it is. Strat card quality, I think it's pretty well known. It's not great relative to other games in the industry. And the cards that I'm using were perforated, and the perforations are pretty crude. But I think for me the main thing with the cards is there's not a lot of character as it relates to team colors or anything like that. You have a black and white on the basic side, and you have pink and light blue on the advanced side, and that's the color you get. In terms of roster size, I think there were 25 players in the Pirates cards that I'm using, and 30 for the Dodgers. So I know originally Strat had 20 players in their standard rosters, and then you could buy the extra players, which often were 2 position players and 2 pitchers, and so you had 24. So I have more in the set that I was given. So that seems to be working. I didn't come across anybody that was played in the game that I didn't have a card for. So those are my impressions, and that's the end. I won't belabor this any longer. Again, comments are welcome. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.